the networking conversation itself is kind of like an audition, right? Like if you're able to impress them and win them over, they're going to be more likely to be willing to vouch for you. Now, most people know that you have to network if you want to successfully land interviews for investment banking, right? Because there's so many applicants out there. If you aren't networking and you don't have bankers who are working at these firms who are willing to refer you, then your chances of getting selected out of the entire pile of tens of thousands or hundreds of thousands of applications is slim to none, right? Now, the question that we get a lot from students is, how exactly do you network, right? Like, what does networking mean? I know I have to do it, but what are the steps to doing that? So today I want to give you a high-level overview of just how exactly that process looks like, right? So the first step that you need to do is you need to come up with a list of bankers that you want to reach out to, okay? This is basically who you want to target and who you want to try to speak to. And so you need to do research at this stage to figure out who would be most likely to talk to you, who would be most willing to want to help you. And obviously the first place that most people start with is alumni from their schools. Now, we've done a separate video recently where we talked about how you're not only limited to networking with the bankers from your school, right? And so although that's the easiest place to start, that's just a low-hanging fruit, okay? You want to be a lot more creative than that usually in terms of coming up with this list, and you really want to just exhaust all of your options when you're brainstorming on who else you have in your network, or perhaps even people that are outside of your network and that might be willing to help you. Okay, so that's the first thing, is identifying the right people. The second thing is, once you have this list of people, obviously you're going to have to get their contact information. So usually what we recommend for the first step in your outreach is you're going to reach out to them through email, okay? Not through LinkedIn. You most likely don't want to cold call them either, because that's a bit too intrusive. So you're going to have to get their email address. So that's the second step. The third step is, once you get their email address, you're going to have to make sure that you craft an email that is professional and still concise. And basically the only objective of your email is to get them to agree to either meet you in person or jump on a call with you. Okay, so you need to fully optimize everything down to the subject line, to exactly what you're saying in the body of the email. And so that's the third step. Okay, then the fourth step, if you successfully get them to respond to you, then you need to schedule time to speak with them or meet with them in person, and then you need to know what to actually talk to them about, right? This comes down to what questions should you be asking, what questions should you not be asking, which is really, really important, as well as having good answers prepared for questions that they may ask you. And so this comes down to both behavioral questions, which are more common in a networking setting, but sometimes bankers will also turn the networking conversation into a technical interview. We've seen that happen with a lot of clients that we work with, where they'll just start kind of grilling you on your technical knowledge on the spot. So you have to be prepared for both of those things, okay? Because ultimately the networking conversation itself is kind of like an audition, right? Like if you're able to impress them and win them over, they're going to be more likely to be willing to vouch for you, right? So that's the fourth step. And then once you had that initial conversation with them, then you need to know how to follow up with them, how to nurture that relationship, how to stay in touch, make sure they don't forget about you, make sure you stay top of mind. And then the last step is, like, if and when it comes time to apply, like, how do you actually reconnect with them and basically get them to proactively offer to refer you without you having to explicitly ask for the referral, okay? We tell our clients to not explicitly ask for the referral, because typically what will happen if you explicitly ask for the referral is, a lot of times if they're not comfortable referring you, or they don't want to refer you, sometimes they'll just say, yeah, sure, I'll refer you, but they actually won't, right? And in that case, you don't really know where you actually stand with them, and you don't want to get into a situation where you think you have a referral at a firm, but you actually don't. Okay, so what you want is for them to proactively refer you because you've done such a good job interacting with them over the past several weeks to months, and that way, if they proactively offer it, you know that they actually mean it. Okay, so that's a high-level overview. Hopefully that helps you guys, and feel free to reach out to our team if you have any questions about how to do each of these steps exactly. Hey there, I hope you enjoyed this video. If you're looking for more customized advice that's tailored for your specific situation, then I invite you to book a free strategy session with our team at the link below. We'll talk to you soon.